everybody. Welcome to the show. You're about to hear some shit you'll wanna know. If you're at work or stuck in traffic, before you get turned or go bad shit, just give the dial a turn and blast it, and then chill and learn about passion from guests of all genres and art forms. Punk, R&B, rap, metal, and hardcore. Comedians, poets, even owners of art stores. People doing their thing just makes my heart warm. So come have fun, talk some shit with me, and please enjoy Special Delivery. So come have fun, talk some shit with me, and please enjoy Special Delivery.
Hello. Welcome to Special Delivery with Rooster the Computer, the man of the future, Rooster the Computer for short, and Rooster for shorter. This is my guest, Ezza of Choom Gang.
What up, what up?
We got another St. Catherine's native here.
St. Catherine's in the building, man. E to the ZZ, E to the Zaza. About to smoke some Zaza
Yes,
with
sir.
Rooster the Computer.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, bro. I'm really happy to be here.
I'm happy you came, man.
Yeah,
We've been
bro.
talking about you coming on for like a minute now.
I
like
know.
since I started, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. We were trying to work it out. We finally got there. So yeah, I know.
I had to
appreciate it,
get people you knew on first.
Yeah. Hey, how did you even stumble upon us? I meant to ask you that.
Honestly,
On St.
because of
on
my
the St.
my
Catherine
job.
scene.
My job is I don't do a lot anymore with my current job. Like all I do
Right.
is drive and wait.
Right.
So I'm just scrolling Instagram, looking at the shit.
Right.
Anybody who's sponsored pops up. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure you were the first person from St. Catherine's that I
Okay.
saw. And I don't know if you had any sponsored videos.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. And I fucking decided might as well message him. And that's what I do. I just scroll until I find people in the general area
Yeah.
of where I
Within
am.
driving distance.
Yeah. And then I just message them, see if they bite, and there you go. It's like
Yeah.
fishing.
Oh, that's incredible.
It's
Yeah,
like
no.
Instagram fishing.
Like I said, the content's good, bro. So I'm more than happy to be involved, man. It's great. I appreciate
And
it.
with Joe Rell, I got linked up with Joe Rell from one of the songs that you helped him do that you
Okay.
posted, and then I added him and fucking you later.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Went from there.
Yeah, and that's how I got to him.
Yeah.
And then Spawn was just another guy who just popped up
Yep.
in my feed. I had no idea that you were connected to him at all until I met him. Like,
Crazy. Yeah, St. Catherine's is like it's a small city, but it's also a city, It's not like a typical small Canadian town. It's like it's essentially a part of Toronto,
well, it's in the GTA.
Yeah, it's Toronto just continues around Lake Ontario, right? It's everything is set up to support Toronto. It's all about Toronto, right? So that's where we are. In Niagara, there's lots of talent, obviously. Anywhere where you get a lot of people from a lot of different places, I find that creativity emerges.
Yeah.
Which is why Toronto is such a cool fucking place, because it's just such a melting pot. You get so many different styles collaborating with each other and creating new sounds. And we have a bit of that in Niagara because we're so close to Toronto. But at the same time, it's like if you grow up elsewhere in California and you want to be an actor, well, you better fucking move to LA. You better go to Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
So I think where I'm from, it's like, well, if you want to be an entertainer, what are you staying in Niagara for? Toronto's right there. So I think it's super cool that people like you have started to find Niagara.
Yeah.
Because it is a scene in and of itself. And certainly what I'm trying to do is separate it from Toronto.
Yeah.
Because it's very different.
Oh, it's a whole different fucking neighborhood. It's a whole different city.
Yep.
I get that everybody always insinuates everything that's around Toronto with Toronto.
Yep.
Which I do too, because there's guests that there's people that I've reached out to that are not from the region.
Yep.
And I have to be like, whenever you're in Toronto,
Yeah.
holler at me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because that's all they're gonna know. They're not gonna know all like the other like they don't. We're not gonna know St. Catharines. They're not gonna know because Toronto's the biggest like the biggest named city and shit like that. So like it is. It would be awesome for smaller hoods to really like be able to branch out and make a name, but yeah, Canada is a hard place to do that with.
Yeah, and it's hard when you're so close to that. Like you're always kind of in the shadow. But at the same time, like I see an opportunity for an advantage because Toronto artists now they'll come here to do a show. You know, Pressa not here. I guess we're in Kitchener right now, but here too. But in St. Catharines, like we had Pressa come, we had Smiley come. So it's starting to become more of a market for those Toronto artists.
Yeah.
So I'm in the mindset now where if I can position myself in a good place in the Niagara scene, I can be one of the go-to guys for when the Toronto entertainment industry has to do something here. I want to be the guy they come to.
Yeah.
You know, like I know everybody. I know the venues and stuff. So it's like I feel like my mission is to be a Niagara ambassador because I feel like in Toronto, a voice like mine might get drowned out very quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas at home, it doesn't get drowned out as much. You know, there's more of a scene there and there's more opportunity there. I can't imagine living in Toronto right now and being like, I want to be a rapper. Like there'd be so much temptation to try to follow a certain trend or a certain trajectory that seems to be working for other people. In a place like Niagara, even a place like Kitchener, it's like nobody from here has really made it yet unless they've gone to Toronto and then made it.
Yeah.
So it's like
that's why CYB, my one guest that I was telling you about, he was from St. Catharines. Like he knows Aiden, he knows Spawn. And he moved to Toronto for that reason. Yeah. Because like there was more opportunity. He felt like there was more opportunity for him to do his thing in Toronto.
Yep. And there totally is. You know? And that's why, some of us in some of the smaller communities around Toronto have been struggling for so long to make a scene and to make a voice and to have supporters. Local people will come out for a Toronto artist. Like, holy shit, he's from Toronto. It's only fucking half hour up the highway. Like, why not support someone from here? I'm basically from Toronto, but I'm from actually down the street from you, right? But for whatever reason, it's like, well, who the fuck are you if you haven't gone to Toronto yet? You know what I mean? If you haven't made it in Toronto, why the fuck am I paying to see?
It's like the same way how the States is with like New York and LA.
Yeah, if you can make it there, you make it anywhere, right? It's right in the New York song. Yeah. So, but I get it. You know what I mean? And here we also like, you go out west to Vancouver. It's not like LA. Like Vancouver's kind of small, in comparison to Toronto. Yeah. So it's like Toronto is like such a...
Edmonton's really doing its thing with hip hop right now, though, man. I don't know if you've been following that, but there's a lot of really dope fucking artists.
Well, I could see that. Right I spent a weekend in Edmonton once. I saw Jay-Z perform there. Speaking of hip hop in Edmonton, I saw a Jay-Z show in Edmonton, and that Edmonton reminded me a lot of Southern Ontario in a way. Just like very like, there's almost like a ghost of an industrial culture there. Yeah. But
I've never been there, so I can't really comment on the vibes.
Yeah, no, it's very like, it almost reminded me of Hamilton. Like it's very like, you can tell that there was once some booming industry, but now it's a little more subculture-y and it's kind of coming back, but in its own right. Edmonton's cool, Vancouver's cool, but none of them are quite the gravitational pull that Toronto has. You know?
And I do credit Drake for that, unfortunately. Yeah, like I like, at least now, or just in general, there's never been as big of a hip hop buzz in Toronto since he made it.
I mean, when you've got the biggest in the world at anything from a specific place, people are gonna look at that place, right? And honestly, Canada is very good about supporting its artists in general. Like there's a lot of government programs you can apply to for grants and loans.
So, yeah, for artistry.
You know,
yeah.
As a rapper, it's kind of difficult.
I'm gonna try and do that. I feel like
Me too.
I feel like what I'm doing would actually be really good for a grant.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I'm not only helping myself with what I'm trying to do.
Exactly.
I think that's like the biggest thing.
That's what you need to show is that you're going to put on the community. And I think that the reason why you get so many famous Canadian artists is because Canada supports its artists. I've heard it. I forget who I was listening to in an interview. It might have been Belly.
Belly's
amazing.
Belly's doing his thing.
He's the true Canadian goat as far as
like
crossing over and making people don't know the songs he's written, the artists he's put on. He's really involved.
Yeah, he's Lebanese like me. I'm half
really?
Lebanese.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah,
like,
no, and his music really incorporated that a lot. Like,
and at the beginning, like I loved Belly. Like back in the day, like early 2000s Belly. That's when I got into Belly.
Yeah. What was that album called?
The
double disc, the 2-disc album. It had I don't know. I fucked with it.
I think it was
like a one-word Revolution. The Revolution. There it is, right there.
And he talks about Lebanon, and she has. I remember there was a song on that album. I forget what the song's called, but the video he was in Lebanon.
Yes.
And like that shit hit me hard because I've been there as a kid.
And he also really championed the like Canadian Middle Eastern culture.
Yeah.
Right?
Like he put on for Middle Eastern for Toronto. He still does.
Yeah.
Like,
and it was him, I think I heard say in an interview, he compared the way Canada supports artists is like the way America supports athletes. So if you're an athlete in America, you can get all sorts of funding, you get all sorts of free rides, you get all sorts of grants.
Or like athlete oriented, like teams, school programs and shit. They get a lot of support from the community. Yeah.
Now mind you, they've got a lot more money down there, but in Canada, they put that kind of support behind the arts and behind culture and behind, because that's what sets Canada apart. Why people want to come to Canada is because we've got such a, our culture is distinct from the States, despite the fact we're still very Americanized and very familiar, and we speak English.
It's still really hard to really make a name coming out of Canada.
Yep.
That is also still really hard. As I know like all kinds of different entertainers who are planning to move down there. Like comedians,
and why not
musicians.
comedians especially because of they really feel like Canada's a impossible place to do comedy, and you know, again, to a certain extent,
Toronto's really thriving right now though. Like I had a comedian on here, and I'm gonna have another one soon on here. His name's Chris Robinson.
Okay, never heard of him.
He's really fucking funny. You should really look him up and watch our episode.
Because I love comedy.
Yeah, like comedy is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, me too.
And like he is really funny, and like our podcast was great. He was the first outside of my friend group guest that I had on this. I had to pay him, but
comedians are the best. They're the best podcast guests. There's no question. Everybody knows that.
Yeah,
comedians are the best podcast guests for sure.
Well, for me, it's like a music is where I'm from, which is why like I obviously gravitate towards more musicians, and that's why I have more musicians on, just because I'm a musician. But I'm here to help out all the arts, or like just to connect with all types of artists.
Creativity, right?
Yeah.
And that's that's it, man.
Special delivery.
thing on? Yeah. Hey. This is smooth, funky, fresh. Hey. Things change and things stay the same. If you stay, you feel like everything's changing. If you leave and come back, everything's the same. Things change, but things stay the same. If you stay, you feel like everything's changing. But when you leave and come back, ain't nothing changed. It's the same. Everybody's on the same bullshit. Everybody's on the same bullshit. Oh, they still on the same bullshit. I said you're still on the same bullshit. We tryna switch it up, baby. We tryna live it up, baby. We're trying to make it the fullest. Live it to the fullest. Tryna switch it up, baby. Do things different. Tryna switch it up, baby. Yeah, we trying to get them going crazy. Get them going crazy. Trying to get them going crazy. Cause, yeah, they all on the same bullshit. You still on the same bullshit. I ain't seen you in years. How you been, man? Oh shit, you still on the same bullshit. I just ran into someone from high school. Oh fuck, goddamn, they're still on the same bullshit. I just ran into someone from my old job. Ah shit, they're still on the same bullshit. How can it be? Everything's always changing. The world's moving so fast. Society's so intimidating. Social media's got things moving. People's awareness is always changing. Things are fluid. Everything's going back and forth. Nobody can make up their minds. But then you run into someone you ain't seen in a while, and oh shit, they're still on the same bullshit. They're still on the same bullshit. We trying to switch it up, baby. They keep it so mundane. We trying to get them going crazy. They're still on the same bullshit. Yeah, we trying to switch it up, baby. It all seems so mundane. We gotta get them going crazy. Yeah. Everything changes, but it doesn't. People change. Oh wait, no they don't. Yeah. That's relatable. You know what I mean? Everybody's been through something like that, I think. Alright, cool. It was fun.
That's it, man. Like I really just want to show like the reason why I still do what I do, you know, being I'm about to turn 33 and I haven't made it yet. But it's like I just want to show people that
I'm turning 35, so
yeah,
I got two. I got 2 years on you, and I still haven't made it yet.
Yeah, and, you know,
yeah.
but you know, people will look at someone or used to look at someone in their 30s that does music and hasn't done anything with it or like become famous, or that used to be like a failure, right? And now it's like, no, like we are the ones that show people that you can do this, you can maintain this. Like just because we don't live the most glamorous lives, we're not fucking getting full hotel packages paid for us with fucking gift baskets when we walk in, like fucking quote unquote successful famous people. We are still showing people that. Did I pass you that?
Yeah, you did. I have my own. It's right here. But you pass.
Force a habit.
You can put it out whenever, man.
We're still showing,
to finish it.
Showing people that you can do it. You know, that it can be done. And I think there is more of an influx of people around our age and even older that are showing that it can still, you can maintain it. You know, you can even have another job or another career and still be an artist and
that's what I'm doing.
See some level of notoriety from it, right? Yeah. So, and you know, it's amazing that you're doing it because you're showing the younger people that there is a path, and it
doesn't necessarily have to be the generic artist path.
Exactly.
Like everybody, like now with the way social media works and like the how music promotion works in general, right now is a bit of a blessing. In my personal opinion, mainly because it gives everybody way more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? We are independent. All artists are way more independent these days.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
there's ways to make a living being independent.
Yeah.
You don't have to get rich. Why does this is the thing that in the 90s and the early 2000s that looking back I found was ridiculous. Every musician's whole point of becoming big and famous was to get rich and to make a lot of money and to be famous.
Yeah.
Why is that
it's so
the goal?
silly, right?
I just want to be able to entertain people for fun and get paid for it. That's literally it.
Yeah,
like
me too,
that's
bro.
it, man.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
Why does it have to
because-
be on such a grand scale? It's too much.
And it's
Who the fuck
actually
needs that much?
it's actually counter art.
Yeah.
To get to that level,
Yeah.
right? Because now you have so many more people to please. You have so many more people who have money invested in it that you need to make them happy. You need to, you know what I mean? Like, I say on my new album on a song, I'm like, I forget the exact bar right now. It's eluding me, but I say something along the lines of like, how ironic is it that now I'm at the point I'll only sign a contract if it'll keep me independent.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, like
was that the song about the offer you got from Riff Raff?
Yeah, that was part of it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's like you got it. That is the song. I'll only sign a contract that'll keep me independent in a way that's like I want to be able to just do what I do. And I believe in it enough that I believe that somebody else should believe in it enough to say, okay, I'm a businessman. I deal in promotion, distribution.
Yeah.
I believe you as an artist, what you do, you've got that handled.
Yeah.
Let me handle promotion, distribution, that type of stuff. You know, so it's like, why do you need somebody to have their hands in the pot of what your art turns into? And I think that once you reach a certain level, it's impossible to avoid that. Like your shit's being discussed in boardroom meetings and stuff like that. Like real people are investing money. And and comedy's a great example too. It's like the goal for a comedian was to get a sitcom.
Yeah.
It's like fucking what sitcom actually shows a comedian's real talent? They can't
unless
even
they're
swear.
writing.
They can't.
Unless it's like Seinfeld and you're right and you're in
huge
part of
fucking
writing.
Seinfeld fan.
That's
right?
a great show.
But that that was them showing how it could be done.
Yeah.
But that's not for everybody, right? And especially so many comedians are so talented and their content would never translate to a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they were forced to, this is the route. If you want to do this fucky thing with your life, like stand on a stage and make people laugh, or stand on a stage and rap, or fucking play your music or whatever, then what you eventually need to do is get a sitcom or fucking have a hit on the billboard or get on the radio or whatever the fucking it thing is at the time. And now, as you said, the way that everything works, it's like so much more accessible for everyone, and you don't have to follow a very specific path.
Yeah.
And that's why I love paying attention to the comedy world right now, because there's just so much in common with the music world in that they're navigating how to do it without the machine. Yeah. And all of us who are doing that at different levels of success, whether it's at the level that we're at or the level that fucking, whoever, name your fucking famous comedian musician.
Yeah. Andrew Schultz.
Lil
Uzi Vert.
Fucking Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah,
there's just they're showing that you can have a career at what you love doing and what you're good at. You don't have to give that up in order to have a career. You don't have to compromise it in order to have a career. We're showing people how you can do it on your own. And even through the struggles that we have, and certainly in our art, we express those struggles because we don't want to paint a picture that like, oh yeah, you can just do this and it's going to be great. It's like, no, like I fucking lay in bed at night and I hate myself sometimes because I fucking haven't made anything of my career, of what I love doing.
Yeah.
Obviously,
every day, there's a point in every single day where I feel that way.
Every single day, and
like that goes through my head at least once a day. It's like it sucks that I still have to do this fucking stupid day job,
bro.
In order to feed my kids and feed myself.
Yes, man, and that is torturous, especially when you see that it's possible. You know, and we have but again, it's just so much luck involved, and like everybody that you see doing it. They worked really hard, like you work hard and I work hard, but they also ran into the right place at the
You
right
know, I
time.
said this before, and I honestly believe this. I feel like the globalization of the music industry, how people can listen to music all over the world, kind of killed the local ability to be an artist. Because before we had the internet, before we had global communication, every artists of any kind, actors, musicians, painters, they all their business was local. Because that's all we had.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? Like, and once all information and all art was able to be distributed across the entire fucking planet, people have so many options. And plus, there's gonna be like systems in place that's gonna push other artists more than a better one.
And then
like,
the cultures get saturated. Like I'm sure, like, obviously, you know, we're both still pretty young, but like I'm sure at one point there was a time where, like, if you went to Kitchener versus St. Catharines versus Toronto, you would get completely different styles that aren't even aware of each other, right? And that's why, like, you know, using hip-hop as an example, the West Coast had such a distinct sound. The East Coast had such a distinct sound. The South had such a distinct sound. Now, internet, everybody does everything. You fucking rappers from
like my beats sound like West Coast beats.
You know, rappers from Toronto.
Because I'm inspired by the West Coast shit. That's
exactly.
That's my favorite era of hip hop is 90s West Coast.
Yeah, 90s and early 2000s West Coast. Yeah, I try to incorporate that stuff too. And there's such a renaissance of that sound now, which is why my last couple albums I've, you know, done more boom bappy stuff because, like, hugely influenced by, of course, Griselda. But that was the stuff I grew up listening to, right? Especially being from, like, Griselda's from Buffalo. St. Catharines is closer to Buffalo than it is to Toronto. So when I see these artists from Buffalo blowing the fuck up, doing the old East Coast shit.
Do you guys travel back and forth of the border all the time when you live down there?
No, like some people do, but no, man. No? It's still like it's funny. Like you would think, right? You would think that it would be like, but like I don't know.
It's right fucking there.
It's right fucking there. I still get nervous. Like I'm just like I'm scared to even accidentally fucking drive to the border because I smoke a ton of weed. Someone's like fucking there's some weed somewhere in the car. Like, you know what I mean? Like.
Okay. Yeah. It's Ezza. 905, we out here in Kitchener, baby. Okay. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Hey. It's E to the za. Tryna make that bread like Tom Papa. Tryna make that chicken, now I'm with Rooster. Up in Canada, I should be on my 8th booster. Not really a theorist, I'm a conspiracy truther. Tryna be a winner, I'm not fearing these losers. Hang around masters of lyrics and producing. Yeah, they cheering my movement. I used to live in fear to move, now they fearing my movements. Yeah, mastered the art of rhyming, now I mastered the art of barely rhyming. In this paradigm shift, yeah, these scary times we're living in, yeah. It's a very high climate, it's very scary. You see, things ain't really ordinary, it's extraordinary, not just extraordinary. Come around me, you may get sorta buried, not by any means of violence, just means of trying to fulfill things that don't get particularly usually fulfilled in this society. That's what I'm trying to be. Someone who can bring you to that place inside of you where I found inside of me, where the divine might be. We didn't really talk about psychedelics, but that's where my mind still is. It's where it resides and lives. You know what I'm saying? With the divine, you can find it inside. Whether you express yourself through rhyme or some other kind of expression, never ever believe that you are less than God on this earth, walking next to the hearse, not in it. Don't live your life as if death is imminent, but also live your life as if death is imminent. I say that to say don't be afraid, just embrace. Seize every day, that's what they say. Carpe diem, I see them doing it. I wish I could, but I still keep losing. I still keep having to work. I still keep having to go and do some jobs that I don't really feel is my fucking core competency or talent. Yet here we are, and all these feelings are valid, but society treats them as if they're not valid and just tries to invalidate and gaslight and then tell you that you're gaslighting. You know what I'm saying? But shit's crazy, and people like myself and Rooster, we're part of a new tribe, and we're also the last tribe. My man, Rooster, on the fucking boards. This is E to the Zaza Ezza. And we trying to be some torch bearers over here. So grab a torch. Not a tiki torch though. A metaphorical torch, you know, not a real one. Lead the way, baby.
Please enjoy special delivery.
Talk to them. Like,
imagine having that job and like having to pretend like the weed is a big fucking deal. Like, how do they still do that? Like, how do they still be like, you've got weed? Like, what? Like, what?
Is it legal in Buffalo? Yeah, right?
I believe New York is legal now.
Yeah.
I believe it is.
Yeah, so
there we've got their information up there.
Yeah, sorry. We haven't even paid attention to that. This is a good conversation, bro.
I did actually look there a couple times. Yeah. No, it's a great combo, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man. New York's legal now, but still, I don't think I think it's very friendly.
So that's it? That's the only ones that it's not? The orange ones? Is that what it is?
Jeez.
No
program
problem.
for legal THC. It's like a majority.
Yeah. Why are you guys even holding on to this shit still?
Even the medicinal is starting to be less than the recreational.
Yeah.
It looks like in the States. I don't know, man. America's crazy, bro. America's another fucking level, man. America's the circus, bro. We're on the front. We're at the show. We get to watch the show without being part of the show. We're kind of getting sucked into the show, though, you know.
Well, obviously, what happens to them affects us. If those motherfuckers end up getting into a nuclear war with Russia, we're fucked.
War. Yeah.
Like, we are literally. You are really fucked.
I'm really fucked.
Like,
I'm really fucked.
Yeah, I'm still close enough to be fucked.
Yeah,
but you're like extra fucked.
Yeah,
you might even be in the blast radius.
That's what I'm saying. If they hit New York, if they hit New York City, I've got some issues to worry about. It's like 6 hours away. Like, I don't know how powerful nukes are, but
yeah. It would definitely fuck with their atmosphere. Mine too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I mean, they're trying to say that the train crash.
This is a really hot fucking issue. If I was getting monetized for this episode, I wouldn't be now. Just because we're talking about that. It's fucking stupid shit.
Yeah, I mean, I read a lot on the internet of like people from I'm from around Niagara Falls in Canada, and I fucking have been having headaches for days. I'm like, I don't fucking know what this. Like, I've never talked to a single person in person, or even heard somebody in person in real life being like, "Fuck, that train crash is really fucking with my head." You know, like, I really don't think that it made it that far to the point that people are getting sick here. But again, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, but our brains are a powerful thing, and they can make us think that something's happening when it's not.
Yeah, that happens a
lot.
Like,
all the time. Like, I'm kind of like a hypochondriac in that way, but at least I keep it under control. Like, I always think there's something wrong with me. like I literally go through my whole life always worried that there's something wrong with me. That can be a good
thing. If you're too far the other way, then you never get yourself checked out. And then, you know,
well, I don't get myself checked out very often, also because of that.
Because
I always feel like there's something wrong, but I'm too afraid to face it.
Also, don't want to find out. Like, I don't want to really know. But I have a feeling.
Yeah. Because I feel like knowing makes it happen faster. It's just a stupid fucking little thing in my head that makes me feel like when you know something's wrong, it makes it worse.
Yeah. No, you know? That's true.
It has the stress of knowing can cause it to get worse.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it is true. I'm not a doctor, but that's just the way that's how I rationalize not going to the doctor.
Yeah, there's this I forget if it was Hindu or Buddhist or something, this little story that I always think of. And it's like a guy has a really important train to catch.
Yeah.
And he had a ticket, but he rushed to leave the house because he realized he was late for his train, and he just rushes to the train. And it comes to the point where the person's come around asking for your ticket. And he checks all his pockets. Can't find the ticket.
Yeah.
There's one pocket he hasn't checked yet. And the guy who's collecting the ticket goes, why don't you check that pocket? And he goes, there might still be a chance the ticket is here if I don't check. As soon as I check, then I'll know it's not there. I'll know I'm fucked. As long as I don't check this pocket, there's still a chance that I have the ticket. I'm not fucked. Right? In the context of that story, it's like it makes no sense because you're not getting on the fucking train unless you show the ticket. But it's like it's applicable to life, right? Because there's so many things where we're just like, if I just don't know, I can put it out of my mind, and then, that kind of brings us to the vaccination topic of like, if I just get vaxxed, then I will never look like an idiot for being anti-vax and not getting vaxxed and not being able to do anything and not being able to go to a restaurant and not being, it was almost just like a safe...
I was skeptical from the jump. Like 100% I was. I was skeptical as soon as it happened. But like I said, I needed work. I needed to work. I couldn't go without working and doing things. Yeah. And I didn't want to lose and plus I had a lot of friends who also were like in my head about it being not stressed, not worrying about it, you know? Like I had people on both sides of the spectrum being like, a couple of people were like, why the fuck? No, never. You know what I mean? Yeah. And a couple of people that were like, you should, or if you don't, then you're a problem. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
And I still don't think we've figured out what the truth is.
Yeah.
Like we still don't know. So, and the fact that we still don't know kind of errs on the side
there
of
is
people who are skeptical.
There is some theories or there's information out there that who knows is real, right? There's like, because I could talk to a couple of conspiracy theorists here and there, and like the shit that they're saying was like, where is this being said? Yeah. Like, this many people are dying on a fucking unprecedented note. Is that true? Where is this information coming from? Yeah. Right, you know what I mean? Where are they showing this?
And that's the
like it's how are we supposed to know what is what? Because like in the internet, there's so many people spreading bullshit and so many people spreading truth. It's hard to differentiate what is and what isn't. Like all we can do is take in everything and make our own decisions. Yeah, that's literally the only option we have.
Yeah, and that's why people like us who are more willing to look at all sides, we're not interested in the censorship thing because it's like, no, I need to know what those people are thinking. I need to know what those people are thinking. Like, I can't form my own opinion if you just tell me all those people that believe the earth is flat, they're all just a bunch of fucking idiots. They're autistic, they're lunatics.
It's very dismissive.
It's very dismissive. And it's like, no, like I want to know what the basis for that belief is. Yeah. Even like the QAnon Trump shit. I never fully subscribed to that at all, but I was reading the Q drops.
Yeah,
I read every fucking Q drop.
The subject matter does seem, what's the word? Honorable. Yeah. You know what I mean? These people who are trying to
their intentions are not bad. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like they believe that there's this nefarious plot going on and they're trying to wake as many people up to it as possible.
Yeah, because that's what they believe.
And they don't even, it's not totally delusional. They have reasons to believe the things they believe. There are certain elements of it that are true.
And plus there is so much information out there who knows what is what.
Yeah. And the mainstream has been shown to lie to people all the fucking time. Yes. And sometimes it's, for our own good. But you know what I mean? It's like, who's making that decision?
You know what I think everybody should watch? Russell Brand.
Yes, bro.
Have you seen his new show?
I fuck with him hard. He's the truth.
Yeah, and really, he's on both fucking sides on everything. Yeah. Like, he always, reiterates his personal beliefs, but then tells you the facts of what he knows.
And he questions himself.
He tries to be unbiased as much as possible.
He questions himself all the time. He's like, am I wrong?
And he'll retract things when he is wrong.
Yeah, he's a fucking man, bro.
Yeah, like he says, tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. Prove to me that I'm wrong, and then I will tell you that I'm wrong.
Well, and that's why he's amassed the following he has. because most people
6 million, 6.2
really quick.
million subscribers.
He was under a million when I started watching his YouTube content, and that was like a year ago. Yeah, maybe a little more, but most people are just reasonable people in the center who just want people to be able to do what the fuck they want without it being a big goddamn issue.
Just give us and tell us the truth.
And just tell us the truth. We can handle the truth sometimes. You know, maybe there are times where we can't.
It just sucks that the truth is really shitty sometimes.
Well, and the truth is also subjective. It's like it's true that what Putin's doing in the Ukraine is disgusting and horrible, and all sorts of people are dying, and this.
Yeah.
But it's also true that it was fucking. There's a whole history that led up to that.
It was 100% instigated
This
by
guy didn't
everybody
just
else
fucking
involved.
wake up one day
UK,
and decide.
US, and Ukraine all antagonize the problem.
Of course, and they've been fucking with that area for decades, just like they were fucking with the Middle East for decades before that erupted into a war where now we're the fucking good guys going in there. Like, come on, man.
Yo, it's Canadian. This is so bad. I have no idea if Canadian soldiers are over in Ukraine. Are there? Or are they? Is Canada helping with Ukraine at all?
Yes, it's good that you asked this now because I happened to catch a thing on the news when I was at work yesterday.
Here.
Yeah, they're training Ukrainian
Canada
soldiers.
and Ukraine are close partners with a strong defense relationship.
The thing
Canada
I was
has
watching,
previously deployed Canadian armed forces personnel to Ukraine delivery training. Fuck, so they're over there training. They're not fighting.
They're training.
That's what they're saying.
They're training
Yeah.
Ukrainian soldiers, and I did watch a thing. It was like Canadians training Ukrainian soldiers how to use North American tanks because all of Ukraine's tanks and shit were from Russia.
Yeah.
So now they're getting all these tanks and all this weaponry from the States, and they need to be trained on how to use it because there's differences. It's more up to date, so on and so forth. So Canada's going in there and training these, but it's like even what I was watching, I think it was like a CBC piece, and it was trying to show like how noble Canada is for like going over, and then it's like they're talking to the Ukrainian soldiers that they're training, and they're like, what do you feel you're getting out of this training kind of thing? And they're like, well, we'll be able to kill the enemy. Like, we'll be able to kill the enemy more efficiently. And it's like, they are not fucking, there's no interest in peace whatsoever. And that's what blows my mind. It's like, isn't Canada supposed to be a peacekeeping nation?
Exactly.
What are we going over there?
That's what we say.
And training people.
Well, we did a lot of fuckery over in Iraq and fucking Afghanistan and shit too, man. I know people who went over there.
Bro.
At that time. I know people who went over there. And they come out either really woke on some shit or
totally crazy.
Yeah, racist and crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, racist and crazy.
Like, I'm not saying please don't take this out of context. I'm not saying that veterans are all racist and crazy.
No.
But some become that. I don't know why, but some do.
Yeah, but you can imagine why. You know what I mean? But they certainly do.
Or they come out on some woke shit.
And people who are around our age, again, I think it's very important that we talk about this shit because we remember the invasion of Iraq. We were young and impressionable, and we were worried about our futures, and we were scared when we saw 9/11 happen, and we were just old enough to be conscious of it, but not old enough to do anything about it or get involved.
I was 13.
Yeah, I was 11. I was 11. So and I was 13 when America invaded Iraq. And
I was living in Germany too.
Yeah, I was obsessed with it, right? And now they just feel like they can repeat the playbook in a sense.
And they've been doing it since Vietnam or since Korea.
You know,
Korea was before Vietnam, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Was the Korean War before the Vietnam War, babe? How you doing over there, baby?
Good.
She's doing great. Yeah, this thing's constantly moving here.
Yeah, she's good, man. She's better than Jamie.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Sorry, young Jamie.
She does. I don't even have to ask. Everything's going up consistently. Maybe it's a little. Is it distracting for you? It's not distracting.
No, it's good. 64 to 73. So it seems like it was around the same time.
Shit. So yeah, they got two birds stoned at once.
I don't. Korean War and the Vietnam War. I think they were just fucking with that whole region for a long time. I mean, they had nuked Japan before that, so it's just like. This is the first time where they're like, oh, white people are being affected by this, so now we need to... Russia invading Ukraine, in many ways, is no different than... Actually, it's less than America's invasion of Iraq, because America had so many countries behind them.
Babe, how many active wars has the United States been involved in since World War II?
Oh,
it's a pretty crazy fucking number. I think it's like 73.
Oh, and it's probably not even... They probably can't even properly count them, right? Because what even counts as an active war? They're involved in... it's the business of the country, right?
Yeah.
And that's why no matter who's in power,
Military
in the
industrial
States,
complex.
that's the business.
What is it?
Military industrial complex.
That's it,
And
yeah.
the prison industrial complex.
Yeah.
Those two things, which are the two most fucking evil, barbaric things that exist, are the business of America. You know what I mean? That's the business.
main economy of
That's
America.
the fucking business. That's what we do best. We go to war and we send people to jail.
Yeah.
More and better than anybody else. You know, people expedite their criminals to the States. I was like to get punished because they punish them better in the States, just because they did some crime that involved America somehow, or they scammed an American. Like, America, bring them on here. We'll fucking throw them in jail. We know how to do that.
Swedish jail is like a hotel, apparently.
Yeah. Well, and you know, but jail probably should be more. I don't know. Like, I don't fucking know, right? But
this
like,
doesn't have to be inhumane.
The idea of jail is just sickening to me.
Yeah.
Like why? Like what? Why does it have to be a fucking dungeon? Like what are we living in here? Why does it have to be medieval? We have to have these people living in medieval conditions. You know, it's like you said, when you got into trouble with the law when you were younger, they, instead of sending you to a fucking cell,
I was 17, luckily. That's why.
That's why. And you know,
I was
God
still
bless
a minor.
Canada for having the system we have for youth. And there's still people that want to fucking be like, well, we should know their names.
And unfortunately, there's still
here,
a lot of black youth that don't get any breaks.
They don't get any breaks.
Yeah.
And then people still don't think that we should be harder on young criminals, because it's like, shut the fuck up, man.
That's like the worst time to be hard on a criminal.
Yeah, Canada should never change the fact that they don't reveal the names of young criminals, because that's so important, because once you have that attached to your reputation, you are just fucked. Yeah. You're only ever going to be able to be a criminal. You know what I mean? And
it's true.
Everything, like especially in America, I mean, I'm sure Canada's gotten better in a lot of ways because we're very socialist in a way. Like, which again, that's an evil fucking word. Apparently,
we are social. We're a mixed economy.
Yeah.
I think that's what the word is.
Yeah, it's a social democracy, and that's honestly what I believe in. I believe that it should be a mixture. You know, people should have the freedom to start businesses and try to succeed on their own
and prosper, but not
also,
overly prosper. Have a cap on that shit.
Other people shouldn't have to starve for that to happen.
Yeah,
right? Other people shouldn't have to starve for somebody else to go. Like, there shouldn't be a pie that if I take this much of the pie, that everybody else has got to share the rest. Yeah, it's like if we help everybody at least get basic necessities. Provide basic necessities for everybody. Yeah. Then if somebody wants to fucking go above and beyond and become a millionaire, billionaire,
they can.
Go ahead.
And if they don't have to starve.
Then they don't have to starve. Right? Like, and that's what I love about Canada. And I think that's probably why, you know, we treat young criminals a little bit better. We're a bit softer on crime in general. Yeah. Which the
welfare system could need some work, but it's not the worst.
Yeah, and it all needs work. Healthcare definitely needs fucking work. Yeah. But that being said, it's like the system in the States where it's like, let's just treat people who commit crimes and make mistakes, and not all people, right? Yeah. Not fucking Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's clients, right? They don't go to jail. Poor criminals go to jail.
We're going in.
But that's not a conspiracy theory anymore.
It's a fact.
A couple of years ago, I would have been a conspiracy
theorist,
fact. It's a conspiracy fact.
Like Russell Brand likes to say.
Those criminals don't go to jail. Only poor criminals go to jail. So what you've got is a system that just punishes the shit out of poor people for being poor. Because most of the crimes that they commit is because they're poor. Yeah. You know, they need to steal, they need to fucking rip somebody off, they need to rob somebody, or they fucking get involved with something where they owe somebody money and then they got to do something to get out of it. It's all about fucking money. Yeah. You know, so it's like we're just punishing poor people for being poor. Let's just throw them in a fucking cell. And again, there are people that probably need to be in jail. Right? I'm not saying that.
But we should reserve that kind of treatment for violent crimes.
Really violent people. Yeah. And even them, I believe there is some form of rehabilitation.
Yeah, which exactly. But why does somebody who had a fucking bag of weed in the 90s have to go to jail for 5 years because they had a illegal substance that doesn't hurt anybody? Yeah. Right? Like, or tickets or tax evasion or shit like that. Why do these people have to be put in a fucking shitty...
And it's going to turn them violent. Yeah. Because that's how you survive in those places, is by being fucking tough, being strong, being physically intimidating. You know?
They'll be amongst their peers that way.
Yeah, and then
You
you,
don't
just
have to-
learn more. And
You don't have to
meet more.
throw regular people into the lion's den, you know?
The way musicians will go to a show and network, or comedians will go to a show and network. Jail is just networking for criminals. Like, you just meet other fucking people. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, I'm gonna be out.
Especially
I'm
if
gonna be
you're
out
not
in
in there
6
long.
months. Yeah.
Especially if you're not there long.
I'm gonna be out in 6 months. You're out in 3 months. All right. After I get out, we'll connect.
You ever done a stint?
No. I've gotten in trouble, but I've never actually done time.
Yeah,
no.
I mean, I got lucky, man. I was looking at like a year at least.
Jesus
Yeah.
fuck.
But like, luckily, I started doing the counseling and all that shit before I even started going to court.
Well, that's you
right,
know, and that gets you
my
in
lawyer,
a good
my
position
lawyer
to
made me
begin
do
with.
that. My
Yeah,
lawyer
well,
said,
you had a good lawyer.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, and that's that's the other thing is like you can't afford in the States especially.
he let me pay him month to month. I just had to get a full-time job,
You know,
and pay him.
and that's the beautiful thing
He
about
was a good guy.
you know.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, shout out
You
to that
like
guy.
if it wasn't
And
for
again,
your help, who knows what would have happened?
in Canada, right? The people who are really good at their jobs that choose to stay here, they generally really want to help people because they can move to the States and make a fuck ton of money.
The doctors and like the public,
Public defenders.
yeah, and all that kind of shit. Yeah, they can make way more down
They
there.
make way more money down there, but
Yeah.
they choose to stay here because it's needed. And unfortunately, a lot of people end up with the lowest common denominator of healthcare, with education, with dealing with crime and stuff. And that is the argument against the socialized democracy we live in, is that like, well, everybody's just going to end up with the lowest common denominator. Everybody's going to end up with the minimum that for everyone. Right?
Everybody deserves.
Because if everybody's
The
getting
minimum-
something,
the
then
minimum
everyone's
of
going to get
whatever.
less, right?
Yeah.
And that's the same criticism of healthcare, where you have to wait a million years to get anything fucking done, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, I'd still rather that than
What's going
your
on in the
income.
States.
Yeah, your income decides whether you live or die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I'd rather it be a system that's
and
trying to get to everyone.
and they do have a socialized healthcare system. They do.
Yeah, but
It's just for really poor
Yeah.
or really old.
Yeah.
It's
And
the only one.
nobody that makes any money
nowhere in between.
uses that.
Yeah.
Right? They buy their own fucking health insurance.
Like, you know what? You know what the issue with the health insurance with the States? They've had the health insurance system for so long. There's so many people who work in these companies. That's the problem.
And same with pharmaceutical companies. Right?
Yeah,
And they're all in cahoots. Insurance companies and pharmaceutical
exactly.
companies.
They're keeping themselves afloat.
It's one big business.
Yeah.
Just lobbying medical professionals.
It's fucked up.
It's really fucked up.
Like,
That's why I don't blame people for mistrusting. And
Yeah.
we talked a little about the Freedom Convoy shit in the car.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I was not going to be out there in Ottawa doing that. But at the same time,
I wasn't mad at them.
I wasn't mad at them. And in
Yeah.
fact, they had a lot of good points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had a lot of good points. And again, everybody knows somebody that was involved in that, that got caught up in that way
Yeah.
of thinking. It's not like it was some fringe rabbit hole. It wasn't QAnon. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I understand how QAnon, like, those people went deep. You know what I mean? They went deep down a rabbit hole.
You know what? Like
The Freedom Convoy people didn't go that
Freedom
deep.
Convoy people, like this is what's funny. Their marketing was terrible.
It was
It's
bad
still-
PR.
Like it's
Really
bad, really
PR.
bad PR. It's
Really
all
bad
was just
PR.
all
They
this
fucked
fuck
up.
Trudeau, all that shit. Like that was the big
That
thing.
was the bad
Look
PR.
how many fucking people got fuck Trudeau stickers on their cars.
I know,
Every pickup truck.
I still laugh at them. And I immediately judge those people. You know what I mean? And I was on your side. I was like, man, Trudeau is fucking this thing up. He shouldn't be coming out and calling them all racist and shit.
That was
Fucking-
a bad move.
That was the worst thing I've ever,
That
as a Canadian, I've never been more embarrassed. And again, I was never an anti-Trudeau. Like, I voted for Trudeau the first election, right?
I voted NDP.
I'm
always.
always an NDP guy,
Yeah.
except for that first election in 2015 where it was like
Yeah.
Trudeau's the man. You know, it was
Yeah.
kind of like an Obama fucking thing. It was like, this is the guy that we're fucking putting in, and that's all there is to it.
You know what's weird? People in Canada are way more open about who they vote for than in the States.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they'll switch it up. They'll switch it up in Canada. Like I said, I'm an NDP guy, like
Yeah.
all the way, but I was willing to be like, okay, this.
And
seems like a
NDP
good
should
move.
just get a fucking get an opportunity even without the votes. They just their whole plan just seems way more for the people than anybody
Bro.
else's.
And they always just get like criticize like they're fucking lunatics. It's just like,
Yeah.
where are they gonna get this fucking money from? And it's
The
like,
same
I don't know, the same place you get the fucking money from. Like, they just want to put it in places that are gonna help people more. That's all. You know, and but
bring it back to them in a way.
Yeah,
because that's the whole point of taxes.
You know, even they disappointed me a little bit because during the Freedom Convoy thing, you know, the NDP powers that be could have came out and tried to be more neutral.
Yeah, but
they really sided with Trudeau and were like, you know, fuck these racist people.
that was a bad PR move.
Yeah, because the NDP is supposed to be working class, right? So there should be a lot lot of crossover in that Venn diagram of trucker convoy people.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that NDP was like.
Well,
shows how much I know. I live in this country.
When it came to
not even that far from Ottawa. Either.
Yeah, no. When it came to the Emergencies Act, whether or not they could do it, and they were putting that through, NDP all voted to do it.
Shit, eh?
Yeah, at the time, and it was only Conservative MPs that voted against using the Emergencies Act. I was against using the Emergencies Act, and I've never voted Conservative at any level of politics in my life.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, what is the problem with them protesting?
Yeah.
Like, and I get that it may have been a particularly disruptive protest, and it lasted a while.
Yeah.
And, you know, there were certainly local people that
But it
were
was
sick
peaceful.
of it, but it was peaceful, and
that's the most important part.
And I'm sorry, but if you live in the nation's capital, you have to sort of expect there to be some political action happening around. You know, like
because we have the right to protest. We always had the right to protest.
Not to say that I don't feel bad for people whose lives were affected during that time, because I'm sure if it was me living in an apartment and I'm already struggling, and now I got these fucking horns going off constantly, I can't get my pets calmed down. I can't get there's so much noise in the streets, and I can't get around. I get it, but at the same time, it's like you live within a few kilometers of the fucking Parliament Hill.
Yeah.
There's a possibility that there's going to be protests, there's going to be shit, there's going to be decisions made that not everybody likes. People are going to come and they're going to make their voices heard, and you live right there, you know. So it's like, I do feel sorry for them, but at the same time, it's a peaceful protest.
But you know what? It
wasn't looting.
They did end up fucking appealing the mandate.
Yeah.
They did.
And you know,
they didn't. You know what? They didn't credit what they didn't do though. They didn't credit the protest. Mm-hmm. That was the weird thing. They didn't. It was like had nothing to do with the protest. It's just what we voted for. And,
it's kind of funny, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was around the time that Doug Ford was up for election in Ontario too, and he's a conservative premier which I think is actually great. I think if Canada has a liberal leader, Ontario should have a conservative leader, and vice versa.
Yeah, so that way we can cross-pollinate.
It needs to balance out, right? Because both sides have important issues that
aren't wrong.
That aren't wrong.
Like some are right and some are like...
Exactly. It's just what you care more about. Like for me, like I think education is the most important thing. Like healthcare is probably right up there.
Yeah.
Healthcare and education. When education is failing and people still don't want more funding to go to education, it's just like, man, how many of our other problems would be solved if everybody just had basic reading and comprehension skills and can really discern, you know, what's obviously bullshit from what is not? Because, like, mind you, there's a lot of confusing information out there, and it can be very hard to tell what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of really obvious bullshit.
Yes.
And people will send me links and be like, yo, fucking check this out. And I'll be like, it's not even spelt correctly. This person not using proper grammar. Like, I get it that, like, you know, you don't have to be an elite fucking university student to understand how things work. But it's like,
be a journalist.
Yeah, there's got to be we got to teach people the basic skills of, like, okay, if you can,
common sense,
you know, reading and comprehension, and just like basic stuff that I think like people don't want to fund education. So it's like, you know, you've got 30 plus kids in a class, half of them got ADHD or more, and fucking one teacher and maybe one helper trying to educate all these children. Most of them are going to fall by the wayside and not not be,
in one way or another.
Yeah, they're not essentially they're not going to be their passions aren't going to be captured at school.
Yeah.
Right. You might have a few kids that are because the content is appealing to them.
The hip hop was good for when I was in school because everybody loved hip hop at the time. It was the early 2000s, and everybody was freestyling. Freestyle Friday was still a big thing on BET, right? Rap City, the basement with the freestyle.
You would go home and watch that after school.
Thing still in the early 2000s, right? Like that's how I honestly became because I got picked on throughout my entire elementary school time. And then when I hit high school is when I became popular, is because I beatboxed, right? And then I started beatboxing people to freestyle, and it was a big fucking thing, and it was super fun, and there was battles all the time. I was always like the beatboxer for the battles and shit. That really like fed into my passion.
Yeah, there was something there. But then
there was also the gangster rap side that also inspired me to do dumb shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, and that's real. That's real.
Like,
you know, we all know people who are, you know, who got caught up in dumb shit. They're trying to be like some famous rapper that they listen to. They're trying to be like the words in those songs. Like I had a weird experience because like for me, even though like hip hop was definitely big and around and stuff, I still always kind of felt like the minority.
Well, in St. Catharines at the time.
Yeah, and especially as a white guy.
Yeah.
I got called a wigger a lot. I got made fun of for dressing, you know, in a hip hop influenced way. And now that's how all the fucking kids, because everybody dresses. You know what I mean?
Even the country guys have some hip hop in there,
right? And they also and everybody smokes weed.
Yeah.
So it's like they all interact with each other that way. So like you know, there's generally more of a chill like acceptance of other people and stuff. And I think hip hop. The growing of hip hop has had a lot to do with it, right? Just because there's so much culture that gets enveloped in it, where you find a lot in common. And it's like weed culture is a huge thing. Like
it's true. It brings a lot of people together. Has forever.
Yeah, and you know, hip hop's something that really embraces that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I just think like I'm for whatever gets people to celebrate what they have in common, and still celebrate what they have different, you know.
That's important.
The fact that everybody just tears each other apart, and like I was saying, like when Trudeau came out and said these people are racist, like I felt so embarrassed as a Canadian, and the world was watching too, you know. Russell Brand was talking about it a lot, and mind you, that's one area where I have to be a little critical of him because he doesn't really know. Like,
he knows that it wasn't racist. He knows that I saw a whole thing about it. He did like 3 or 4 episodes on it. I've seen them all. Yeah. And I just recently did too. I've been fucking like just binging him for the past like week. He does believe that there was some involved, but like you said, in every fucking protest, there's going to be somebody's
going to co-opt it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
so when Trudeau came out and said that, it was just like, what? Like, it was like he was just like, these people are never gonna vote for me anyway. They all have signs that say "fuck Trudeau."
So fuck them back.
But it's like, you're supposed to be the diplomat, right?
Yeah, I know. That's a really funny way to look at it.
You're supposed to be a diplomat. It's your job to try to get everybody on the same page to some degree, right? Like, hey. That's what Obama was fucking great at, you know. He could come out and just talk through anything.
But he was bullshitting half the time too. Unfortunately,
he was drone striking everybody.
The rest of that split.
He was drone striking.
You want more? Or can I
I'll have some more. All right. But at least he could come out and talk and calm people down a little bit. Trudeau had every opportunity to fucking try to calm things down.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I hear you guys, right? This vaccine thing is frustrating.
And
this
COVID scary.
Thing is frustrating, and it's scary, and it's hard to know what to believe. And there's a lot of information. And you know what I mean? He could have been a diplomat and been like, I feel you. You are Canadians, you know? You are my fellow Canadians, and we all need to get through this together. Out. Yes. Instead of...
Trust the science.
Fringe minority, racist...
You gotta trust the science, trust the government, don't question us.
And now we ain't never getting some of those people back, man. And that's the scary thing, because now
we might be end up conservative, and that could be a bigger problem.
Exactly, because now all those people believe that socialism is evil, that fucking China runs Canada, that you know, Trudeau is fucking
a pundit,
And, you know, again, there may be truth to some of these things. I was saying to my buddy the other day, like, if you just replace the word China with the word Japan, everyone would think it was cool as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Japan is choosing who our prime minister is? Japan is fucking influencing? Fuck! But that's fucking dope!
They've been killing it.
Japan figures shit out.
Yeah, they take care of their people. No one's starving. Like, they actually got a pretty good system going on over there.
You know,
everybody seems to be pretty happy. There's a lot of creative, awesome things that come out of there on a regular basis.
You know, like, okay, cool. But when it's China,
we all get scared.
It all gets scared. And you know, I get it because it's America versus China. Who's going to be the superpower? Like, you know, America's evil, but at least we can trust them. You know what I mean?
If there's one thing I could agree with the World Economic Forum, is that the whole world should get together.
Yeah.
Like, in a sense.
Well, you're an evil globalist.
I know.
And you want to destroy America, my friend. You want to destroy America. But no, you're right. I mean, the idea of, like, borders are fucking arbitrary.
Not in the way that they want to, obviously, because what they're trying to do is control the world through business.
Yeah.
Which is a completely different subject that we don't have to get into because I'm not knowledgeable enough in that.
Yeah.
But their whole ideology of that the whole world should just be working together for a common goal is
like
what we should be doing.
Yeah, like we're all human beings, right? And now the world is like everything's globalized, right? We've got the internet, right?
Yeah.
It's not like we don't have the tools.
Exactly.
We need, you know.
And now people can fly cameras as far as they want all over the world to see for themselves what's going on over there with them drones. You can buy drones that can go for fucking ever.
Yeah.
If you have the money, you know what I mean, or the know-how.
It's
like,
so true.
You could see literally everything you want in this entire world on your own.
Yeah. But then there's still that, like, national pride and, like, you know, we need to protect our own. And it's like, okay, like, I understand where they're coming from as well. Of, like,
yes.
But it's like, okay, but what is our own, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we not just humans?
Yeah.
You know, we're not on Earth. Do we not now know? I guess we don't. Do we not now know that we're on a little ball in the middle of infinity? And that, you know, any perspective where we're not all together is fucking wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're literally all together floating on a fucking ball in the middle of nothing. And yet we can't get along.
Yeah.
It's like, how small-minded are we as a species still? That we're not able to see it that way, you know. That it's like if we were to all work together, then somehow that's going to compromise us all as individuals. It's like, but our individuality, when we bring it together, makes us all stronger, right? You know, it's like that's what's great about music and like collaboration is fucking. You can compete with each other and be like, fuck that guy. Like, he's not as good of a fucking musician as me, but he's doing better. Or it could be like, fuck, he's got something I don't. I've got something he doesn't have. Let's make something amazing.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, why can't that concept be
and
applied
on that
to
note,
all of life?
On that note, we should do that.
Just went out.
We should do that right now. We should jam.
Let's jam.
Yeah.
My brother.
Please enjoy special delivery.
good. Okay. Yeah. This beat make me wanna throw money, but I don't got none, so I try to be funny. This beat make me wanna throw cash, but I don't got none. Cash be trying to make a stripper laugh. This beat make me wanna throw money, but I don't got none, so I'ma try to be funny. This beat make me wanna throw cash, but I got none, so I'll try and make a stripper laugh. I keep it real witty when I be entering the city. Not throwing cash like Diddy. I don't got none, but I'm trying to see some titties. Sorry to my wife, that's not even true. I don't know where it fucking came from. I guess it must be this beat got me wanna throw money at some strippers doing strip teases.
Believe it? Yeah. Buy him all sorts of cheeses, fancy stuff, Buddha, Havarti. All cause I wanna party. Go hard, go hardy. Eat a meal real hearty. You feel me?
This beat make me wanna throw money, but I don't got none, so I'll just try to be funny. This beat
Make me wanna throw cash, but I don't got none. I'ma make a stripper laugh.
This beat make me wanna throw cash, but I don't got none. I'll exchange humor for ass.
I'll exchange humor for ass. Actually, I'd rather exchange it for hash, cause
Me, I need weed. Me, I need THC. I don't really need them titties. I don't really need that booty. But if you got some weed for me, I got no money for you. Wanna throw money, but I can't, so I'ma just
try to be funny.
I wanna throw cash. Cash be trying to make a stripper laugh. I got no money. I'ma just try to be funny. Hey. Okay. All my fellas in the building trying to make them girls laugh cause you don't got money to get into their pants. I'm with you. I feel you. The struggle is real. You will find your queen. Don't give up. She's out there right now. She's waiting for you. The real ones don't need money, man. They just need you.
I think you got enough material there.
Enjoy. Special delivery.
Second Shot recycled skateboards. Handcrafted unique items using recycled skateboards. Second Shot is a company that was born from a passion of skateboarding and its culture. Created by John Gibson, an avid skateboarder himself since the age of 10. Using broken and unwanted skateboards from local skaters, skate parks, and skate shops. When pieces from different skateboards are compressed together, you get one-of-a-kind, colorful, malleable piece of wood, which can be turned into pretty much anything. Guitars, knife handles, bird sculptures, sunglasses, watches, even wallets. Every item is handcrafted one at a time with extreme attention to detail. So please remember, every board deserves a second shot. Shop for these unique creations and as well as custom orders at secondshot.ca and follow the very entertaining and engaging vlog that John has on Instagram at second_shot. Yeah, let's get back to the show. Thank you.
Enjoy. Special delivery.
Plug your stuff.
Man. Yeah. Oh, yes. Thank you. Yeah, I got
So I don't have to do it.
When does this?
So I have to do it later.
When does this episode come out?
It'll be out within like 2 or 3 days.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Yeah. I got an album coming out April 7th. It's called Fully Alive. I did a little preview of it at the end of January where I kind of just had my whole mishmash of ideas for the album. I put it all.
I listened to that when it went out. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I put it all on a playlist. It's almost the reverse of what they do with deluxe copies now. Like,
oh, so you put out the deluxe first?
Yeah, almost, right? An artist now will put out an album and then, a few months later they'll put out the deluxe and like, here's everything that I did for that album. Some of it got cut.
Yeah.
Some of it didn't make
It's like a director's cut.
It's the director's cut.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm going to show off everything that I'm working on for this album. I'm going to get people to listen to it, get some opinions, get some feedback, and then I'm going to kind of whittle it down to a more solid list and kind of work on completing those songs that I'm selecting out of this big track list. So some of them changed quite a bit, some of them didn't change at all. The version I had out was 18 songs. It's now down to 13, so that's like quite a bit of a trim, and it was very difficult. And in broadcasting school, they taught us it's called killing babies. When you have to, it stuck with me because when you're editing anything, you gotta kill some babies because you love it all.
Oh, okay.
Right? You love it all. Even if you're editing like this podcast, there might be some stuff. It's a wild thing
to say,
right?
But I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, they call it killing babies because it's like you acknowledge that you love this, you want it to be part of it.
Yeah.
But it's just like it can't. It's going to affect the integrity of the whole thing if every single part is in it. So you got to kill some babies.
Yeah.
I killed some babies. It wasn't easy. Those babies may still see the light of day eventually, but yeah. So Fully Alive, I'm really happy with what I've brought it down to.
You did any shows?
Yeah, that's why I was asking when, because we have a show tonight, but now it will have been in the past. But there are more coming. I've been performing.
Is Spawn performing?
He is performing tonight, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw your set list, your artist list that you posted. Yeah, I wasn't sure what that was for, but now I know.
Yeah, that was kind of an idea. I'm trying to come up with a potential album release party for my album, but it's not totally for sure yet because wifey's very, very pregnant, and anything could happen at this point. So just the fact that I'm able to get the album out at all, I'm gonna look at that as a success.
Yeah.
Hopefully do a couple shows here and there. I've been performing with Pluto Han and Rabbit Gang, which has been really convenient because I haven't had to set up any of this stuff. He's getting the shows and setting them up and just being like,
any of the promoting work.
Which at this right now, when I'm dealing with all this baby stuff, like it's good for me, right? I can just like.
And performing's fun, man. I haven't done a show in a minute.
Yeah, so I'll be around. I think they're pretty much all
your
Niagara.
socials, your Spotify.
Yeah, so everything's at Ezza905 on social. Instagram is like my main thing, Ezza905. Spotify and all the major platforms, it's Ezza of Choom Gang. Which I know is tricky, but there's lots of Ezzas out there.
Don't worry, it'll be on the screen too if you're watching.
So yeah, it's Ezza of Choom Gang, and that's where you can find all my music. Fully Alive is my 5th solo album. I'm calling it my final album, but anybody who knows an artist knows that's probably not true. I'm kind of using.
I was curious about that too.
Well, it's my 5th, and it's kind of completing this set of releases. I'm kind of looking at it as like. In 2019, I put out my first real solo album.
Okay.
I won the Niagara Music Award that year.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to try to just do an album every year for the next few years. So this is the 5th consecutive year of an album every year. And I want to take a break.
Yeah, obviously.
And obviously once the new kids in my life, you grow, you change, right?
Yeah.
And I want to be able to come back to it with a brand new, fresh kind of perspective.
Yeah.
So, and also it just really helped calling it my last album as sort of a creative muse as well.
Yeah.
It helped with a lot of the subject matter. Mm-hmm. Jay-Z is one of my heroes in the Black Album, though I don't believe it was ever going to be his last album. But the reason why it's so great is because he acted like it was his last album.
He believed it was his last album.
I think he did. I am not as naive as Jay. I know that I can't stay away from this shit.
Yeah, but, it's too much fun.
But yeah, it's too much fun. But so this is the 5th of a set of 5. So I'm calling it my last, and I'm really proud of it, and I hope you all enjoy it, man. April 7th.
All right, and I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, share, all that nonsense if you really dig it.
Yeah.
Because the algorithm's not going to help me.
No. We're too much in the middle for
I say fuck too much already.
Yeah.
So.
and neither side is going to prop us up as fucking pundits because we ain't feeling too
and
strong.
And this is a music podcast. I'm not even trying to do political things.
Yeah, no, fuck that anyway.
Yeah, man. Thanks,
Much love, bro.
Yeah,
I love everything you're doing. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
While that fun, talk some shit with me. Please enjoy. Special.